Here's a harsh reality that you have to realize as a new parent is that your parent may have raised you, but it's been a hot minute.
Because I'm pretty sure you had to have a conversation with your mom and saying you can't just show up, and you need to let our baby sleep. It is tough.
It's so tough.
Yeah. Again, because it makes you feel way less important as an individual.
Yeah. I think people in general are just very good at brushing things under the rug again. You know, it's I'll deal with it later.
I'll ignore it.
Exactly. It's not that important. Or, you know, it's not affecting my life that much.
Right.
I can still live comfortably. Hi guys, welcome back to Raw Parenting Podcast. I'm your host Tom. This is my wife Mallory.
Hi.
We're the Raw Parenting Podcast, where we growing as parents through deep and real conversations. A little backstory about us is that we are conservative parents who believe in traditional values.
In today's video, we're going to be talking about the harsh realities. This is a good video for new parents that are going to be new parents because it comes with a lot of things that you don't really think about. It's also really good for current parents as well. If you feel like you've never related to anybody, you can relate to us. So stick around.
So what are some harsh realities that you want to go over today?
All right. Well, what's the first juicy one to talk about?
Oh my gosh.
Let's ease into it, I would say.
Yeah, I say let's ease into it.
Obviously, everybody knows your relationships are going to change.
Yeah, just with everybody, even your spouse.
Exactly.
It's going to change with everybody.
Yeah, even your pets.
Yeah, even your pets. Yeah, no, seriously.
Literally every single person that you have encountered in your life, a relationship is most likely going to change.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like when they say your world literally flips upside down, like I finally know what that means now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this is one of those things where you have to experience it yourself.
Yeah.
To fully understand. So even though we're talking about it, people are going to be like, no, that's not going to happen to me. No, it will. It will happen.
Now, would you say overall it changed for the better or for the worse? Like, how did you see it all?
It depends how you look at it,
okay.
I would say.
Okay.
I think initially, it changed for the worse.
Okay.
I would say. Because you start to, realize all of these things about people and about yourself, and then you're like, it's uncomfortable change.
Mm.
But then, in our situation, I would say it's for the better now.
Oh, interesting. Okay, explain.
Well, hold on. What do you think? What would you say?
I would say overall it's for the better.
Yes.
You kind of see a person as they are, and you appreciate for who they are, and some might be more involved in your life, some may not be.
Yeah.
And that is okay.
Yeah. Well, and it depends. I mean, I had a big smack in the face of relationships that I thought were relationships that kind of weren't anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? So for me, those were uncomfortable changes that I was like, ugh. This is different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So let's talk about family first.
We'll
do family first, then friends.
Oh, really? Okay, sounds good. All right, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay.
So obviously with family, with our first child,
yes,
my mom was an amazing help.
Oh my gosh.
She
Godsend.
Was so, thank God.
Yeah, seriously.
Because she taught us so many things.
Yeah.
And of course it was in the middle of the pandemic, so we didn't have anyone to come and help or give guidance. I didn't have any classes or, anything like that. So for her to come and even just teach us how to bath our child, that was amazing. And I was terrified about the neck. It was always the neck, you know?
It was so floppy.
I'm gonna break this thing. It's gonna die because I can't hold it properly.
Yeah, neck was super scary.
It was very, very...
Well, just the baby in general experience was very scary for us because, again, I've never held anything that fragile before.
Yes.
And I've held many good Pokemon cards. I've never... That was the most fragile thing.
I love the relationship you made there. What a great comparison.
Yes. But I know it was super scary. It's how do I do this? How do I hold it? Do I hold it here? Do I support here? How do I bath this thing now? It was just a lot.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, we were in the hospital, and they did show us a few things, but immediately it was... So, for a quick backstory as well. So we have a 3-year-old and we have a 1-year-old. Our 3-year-old, we like to call her Peanut on our podcast, just for privacy reasons. And for our 1-year-old, she is Little Lady. So Peanut, we have her in the hospital. And immediately she's squawking, you know?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
We're like... so
we're new.
We both shut down.
Oh, yeah.
And that was really hard to come back from after several days of just how uncomfortable it was for everybody, even Peanut, you know? Like, everything was uncomfortable.
Yes.
So they're trying to teach us, oh, well, this is how you bath. And it's like, oh, that looks good. Yeah. And then you get home and you're like,
oh my gosh.
And, you know, as soon as, like, you took her out of the bath, immediately squawking because she's super upset about the cold.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're rushing really fast to try and get her dressed, and then you're struggling because you don't want to break. It's a whole thing.
Ooh, yeah, it's like...
For us, it was a whole thing.
It's a new whole thing. It's...
So...
And then you had to change diapers, and so everything was brand new.
Yes.
Anyways. Back to your mom.
Back to my mom.
Godsend. Helped us a lot for the first while, actually.
She did, and thankfully we were able to have someone come over at that time during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Whole other thing.
Yeah, exactly. And she came over and she was just very, like, stern, confident. You know, just kind of like, here's what you do. Don't be a pussy. Like, pretty much, right? It was just
okay,
like, come on, you're gonna be okay. Like,
yeah. And she did help me with breastfeeding because I really struggled with that. And I struggled with that the whole time. But, you know, there was lots of things that she was very helpful on.
Very helpful.
So that was a great thing. And it was really nice because she was being that mom that I always knew that she would be when we had a kid.
Yeah.
You know, it was very, like, refreshing to know.
Yeah.
Like, okay, she is here for me.
Yep.
Thank goodness.
Yep.
So that was great.
Yep. And you know what? Even after your mat leave was over, she was here for, you know, an entire almost a year pretty much, helping us out.
Yeah.
So,
daycares were super
shout
hard
out to your mom.
find. Yeah, shout out to my mom. She was amazing for... a long period of time in Peanut's life.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It was great. She was very helpful. So that was also, that was a great thing to experience with her initially. However, like, and then with your mom, you know, things were pretty uncomfortable.
My gosh. Yeah, let's talk about my mom here for a little bit.
Yeah.
I would say at the beginning it was a rough change with my mom.
Yes.
She didn't really understand the boundaries. Do you remember that? She would just show up whenever, and we were like already stressed out to the max.
Yeah.
And
we had a dog that barked when anyone would pop by. She would do Popeyes.
She would do Popeyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which has been alright, but I feel like our relationship with my mom right now is very different.
Very different.
Very different than what it was 3-4 years ago.
Yes.
Like, I'm talking about extremely different.
Yes.
It was like, when she showed up, it was just like a sudden rush of like stress.
Yes.
That you're just like, I don't know if I'll deal with this right now.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's just so different.
So different.
So anyways, she would do Popeyes and she would just kind of be, very unhelpful in many ways.
Unhelpful. Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
but helpful in some sense too, because she would bring us food and this and that.
Yes. But she would wake up our child. To play,
yes, to
play with our newborn baby that needs to sleep like 90% of the day. And we're like, we just got her to bed. Like, and so, she just got down for a nap.
So here's a harsh reality that you have to realize as a new parent is that your parent may have raised you, but it's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
So for us, we had to like parent our parents in some sense to train them up to speed. Of, hey, your ways of doing things 30, 40 years ago is not how we do things now. We are very different people. We've created this special family, and we have very different ways of doing things. So you need to catch up to our speed, not the other way around.
Yes, exactly. And, it was a hard transition for some.
For some, yes.
And also, you're going to get people not on board with the decisions that you make as well. And it's like, well, I didn't do that.
Yep.
That's fine.
Yeah, you get little comments as well. It's like, oh, are you sure about that?
Yeah.
That's not what I did. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so there was a lot of those things. So definitely the harsh reality is understanding that everyone has different views and take what you like, leave the rest.
Yeah,
the classic saying.
Yep.
So, and also sometimes you have to have those uncomfortable conversations with your family members.
You have to.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure you had to have a conversation with your mom and saying, you can't just show up. And you need to let our baby sleep. Mm-hmm. You can't wake her up to play with her.
Yep.
She is not at that stage right now. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, because, she doesn't understand that, when she leaves, she leaves. We now have to clean up the entire mess. Exactly. You just come for an hour or two.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, with our second child, it was a lot different.
A lot different.
But
we still had that boundary in place where you cannot be alone with our baby right now. You know, that took a while for us to get her and kind of like train her.
Exactly.
To be comfortable doing it. Like, I mean, the diaper thing was a huge issue for us. Like, she would not change diapers. And just, you need to change a diaper. And that was a big thing of, like, keeping our child, not allowing her to take them individually and without us, right?
Yes.
But, again, that has all shifted.
Yeah.
She is doing so great with us now. Great with our kids. Like, she takes our children all the time. She's super helpful.
Yeah.
And, shout out to your mom now. I mean, like,
seriously.
if we didn't have her right now,
and
it would be tough.
Yeah, and I feel like with families, I mean, luckily for me, I'm an only child, and so, like, I don't have a lot of expectations of anybody, other than my mom, really.
Yeah.
And so, I feel like, again, every family's different, but sometimes when you have a child and you think family's gonna just have a big reunification of some sort, or everyone's gonna come together, it's gonna be blah, and sometimes it may not be like that.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Everybody has their own crap that they gotta deal with. Everybody has their own cycles. Yeah. Every few years we go through good years, bad years, good years, bad years, and it's just,
Mm-hmm. Well, and let's talk about, relationships with my brothers, for example. I never really expected them to, hey, we'll take the kids and you could, I'll babysit, you can go out. Yeah. Like, it was never that expectation. However, if they would come over and our children are very shy and start crying and they don't want to be, and then they're offended, it's, dude, you haven't been here in a month. You expect them to remember who you are. So it's kind of things like that where, for me, and I guess this is the difference between male and female in an aspect of if my brothers have kids in the future, I would love to have relationships with them. I want to be a good aunt to my nieces and nephews if that ever happens. It's just something, and I want our kids to have a great bond together. So, I don't know, maybe that's just an unrealistic, what I've gathered is I think it's an unrealistic expectation for me to expect that of them. And like I said, that was a harsh reality for me to have to deal with because I thought I was very close with my siblings. And I honestly haven't seen them since Christmas, it feels like. So, it was a difference in me being I love family, we're connected, and with the loss of my dad, I thought that had connected us. Well, a bit of both, there was very tense times, but then at the end, I thought it would have connected us really well. And it almost seems like now that that's over, we don't really have that anymore. We used to get together every week, and now we don't. So. Yeah,
I think, and again, I wouldn't completely put them out of the play yet. I would say give them some time. Maybe some kids are just not good with little kids.
Yeah, for sure. My one brother has mentioned that to my mom specifically. He doesn't know what to do with them. Well,
right.
But isn't that, in my mind, isn't that great practice for you? Or come over and say, hey, I don't know what to do. What are things that I should be doing with, your kids? Mm-hmm. But to me, they don't care enough to want to do that. And again, that was a harsh thing for me to understand. They don't care enough about it. And I have to be okay with that.
Yeah. And Yeah, it's tough, right? It's like I'm sure they care in some sense, but it's yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to see what goes through their head, you know?
Yes, well, we all
When
know
it's
that
been
they are very different.
yes, they're very different than
They
your
are very
average
different
people.
individuals.
Yes.
And also, I don't really want those negative mindsets around my kids, anyways. So, and I've learned that later on, right? So, those are my initial thoughts about the relationships with my siblings at the time.
Right.
Is, accepting them for who they are.
Exactly.
But also realizing that that's not the type of individual that I necessarily want around myself or my kids in a lot of aspects.
I see. Okay.
Just because we're family doesn't mean, that we have to be around each other all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought that we should. So.
Yeah.
Definitely a huge shift in relationships there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Not to say I don't love my brothers. I do. But it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And again, don't get upset when you wonder why my kids act a certain way around you. Well, you're never around.
It's been a while.
It's been around. Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. Anyways, yeah, that might change for you guys. So that's a few things.
Yeah, and hopefully it changes for the better.
Yeah, exactly.
But you have to have low expectations in all aspects.
Yes. Yeah, with people, you generally want lower expectations, I would
because
say.
now I would say I have expectations of my mom that aren't being met. And, I have to be okay with that. She's going through a lot. She has her own life. It's not all about me. It's not about me and my kids. Like, I have to accept that. It's a hard thing to accept when you're not the main focus in your parents' life anymore. You know what I mean? Like, again, this is nothing against my mom or anything. It's just, literally, they have their own life, and I am not their full consumption.
Yeah, they have to take care of themselves first now.
Exactly.
For a while.
Yeah. Yeah, so again, just a harsh reality.
Yeah.
It's not what you expect. It's, your expectations need to be very low for people.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And then if they go above and beyond, it's amazing.
Yes. So yeah, don't be afraid to speak up to your parents is number one. If there's certain things they do they don't like, you gotta say something. I really appreciate those who are stepping up to the plate. Yeah. Really, really. And then and they embrace the change, as hard as for them to change, they're embracing it.
Yes.
And that's how much you love your kids, is they're willing to change themselves.
Yes.
To step up to the plate now.
Yes. And we also, like your stepsister, she's like, yeah, I can help out in the next month. And we're like...
Yeah, so backstory, like, my mom, who looks after the girls a lot these days, she's going away for an entire month. And we are potentially pulling Peanut out of daycare.
Not potentially.
Oh, right. We
have.
are. Oh, yeah, that's right.
We have.
Oh, no. That was kidding.
Yeah. It hasn't been, like, we could still drop her off at this point, but she's been pulled.
We officially pulled her off, and she's been there for, like, less than a year in daycare in total.
I think in May it would have been a year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're pulling her out. I don't know how much you guys want to hear about this, but yeah, I don't know. We're just really questioning things of, like, why she's there, or, like, how much things she's really learning there, and we're not comfortable dropping off daycare. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, there's been many changes that we don't really like.
Yeah, there's been quite a few changes as well, and then things have happened. We're just like,
yeah.
Let's make this work somehow.
Yeah.
Where she gets to stay home more often.
Yeah.
And she's a lot happier since then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huge shift in there.
Huge shift, less tantrums.
Yes.
So, anyways, back to that. So yeah, my stepsister has, again, she wants to level up, and she's taken initiative to like, hey, like, if you guys ever get stressed out, like, bring the kids over and I'll look after them. Yeah. And yeah, it's people like that. It's people who, like, offer these, like, little helps.
Yes.
That just means so much. Like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It speaks to a lot about them and their character and their heart, I would say.
Yeah, and she, every time that we are around her, she is very involved with our kids too. She's always talking to them, she wants to play with them, and that's all that we can ask for, really. And yeah, now she's mentioned, like, hey, I can take them, they can see their grandpa, and, like, I can be there with them and you guys can do your thing. So we're just like, this is amazing.
Yeah,
Are
thank
sure?
you. Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so it's been really cool seeing people step up, some people step down, and
it's up
it's a
and down.
teeter-totter. Like,
Exactly.
people come in, come out, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And again, we've had, like, one of your really good friends has even said, I don't have kids, I don't know what to do with them, but hey, I am willing to come and learn and see what I can do to help you guys.
Like, what an amazing thing to say to a parent.
Yeah, you're like, oh.
Well, just, like, what, like, who really does that, it's what an amazing, just, what an amazing friend and stepsister, like.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so let's move into the friendships and how those things have changed as a harsh reality.
Oh, yeah. So, I guess I can go on that. I mean, growing up, single child, friends are my brothers.
Yes.
Right? Like, my friends are my brothers. If you're friends with me, you're my brother for life kind of thing. And, they will change as well. Just like family, someone's going to step up. Most is going to step down, I would say. But for those who step up, man, that's your homie. Yeah, like, that's truly your ride or die. That's your wingman. Yeah, that's your homie. And you know what? You just treasure those who are around you who step up more. And again, you can't get mad at those who step down.
Yeah.
You just can't. Not everyone likes kids. Not everyone is comfortable being around kids. I'm fortunate enough where I had a job in my early 20s involving younger teenagers. And so, like, I was comfortable with kids for a long time in my life. So it's, I don't know. I feel like there are moments where you just kind of wonder and you get bitter and you question why. But I think it just gives you more appreciation for those friends who step up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. And for me, I'm not really a friend person. Mainly because, expectations. But, I would say there are relationships that I have held on to, struggling, grasping at those straws, trying to have those relationships still. And when I have 2 children and I am still willing to make something work to be around you, and you do not have kids and your life is too busy for me, that was a harsh reality for me. Is like, okay, just goes to show how important our friendship has always been. And it's a hard thing to let go of, right? But I mean, I'm letting go, and I don't blame those people either. It is what it is, And I will most likely, if you reach out to me and say, hey, like, let's get together for lunch or something, I'll be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And it's kind of weird.
It just depends.
Like, do you end it or do you put it on break?
I think it depends on the relationship.
Or lower your expectation, I guess.
Yeah, I think my expectations are very low of all of these individuals. The 2 that I think of immediately, I've always had breaks with these people throughout life. I've known them since I was born, and we just end up taking breaks. And life happens. Things will pull us back together, and it is what it is, and I'm okay with that. I wasn't, but I am
tough.
now. It is tough.
It's so tough.
Yeah. Again, because it makes you feel way less important as an individual.
Yeah.
And I think that was the hardest.
Yeah.
Again, a harsh reality that I had to review myself and say, is it me? What did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Or does it have nothing to do with me? I don't know.
Right.
But that also leads into you and I doing all of this self-journey, reflection, and all of that. And I'm realizing, no, it's not really me, because I have a lot of value to bring to people's lives. And if they don't want to listen, I don't know what to say.
Right.
Or there's nothing further to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I would say relationships with your friends, again, you have to have low expectations. And even though I have put in a lot of effort to see certain people and they don't reciprocate, Yeah, I don't know. Don't take it personally, I guess. Or think that it's your kids that they don't like, or I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just different.
Yeah.
It's very different.
Yeah. You go down rabbit hole questions.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, are we actually friends?
Yeah.
Like, what are all these
Did
years?
it really just take me having kids for you to
Yeah.
leave?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But in their mind, they're not thinking as leaving, right? They're thinking, because who knows what they're thinking? They're probably thinking, oh, she's probably really busy. Does she have time for me?
Yeah.
Or like, I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like so many other things. I feel like the last thing they're like, oh, I'm going to drop this friend because they have kids now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's...
Yeah.
You know, like, that'd be
I
insane,
know.
right?
I know, but I just think about the people that I do reach out to often and say, hey, let's get together. And still nothing, you know, that's me reaching out to say, let's get together, even though I'm busy and have these kids, that you think that I can't, you know, step away for a minute. Well, I can, and I'm proving to you that I can. So I don't necessarily think that that's, I mean, maybe it is me. Maybe, maybe they just don't, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you talk about your kids a lot, because that's all we have in our lives now, is chatting about, you know, our everyday life, and a lot of people are uncomfortable with that.
Or they just don't even know. Yeah, and that's a great point. Like, yeah, like I had a hang out with some friends a couple of weeks ago now, and I think most of them don't have kids. I think the one of them has one kid, and so yeah, it's a different conversation, and that's one thing that you're gonna realize as well when you hang around with other friends who don't necessarily have kids. It's a completely different conversation. And
some people might thrive on that, though. You know, they want that separation of, I don't want to talk about my kids all the time. I want to be like I was
so
2 years ago before my kids.
Exactly.
Like, now it's time for the party.
It's boys' time. It's girl time.
Yeah, it really just depends on you as an
so
individual.
True. Yeah.
But that is going to change.
Yeah,
right?
But when you're someone who's as passionate as we are, that's really all we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Really, and so. Yeah, and you know what? It's that's gonna change as well. You're gonna sit there with your friends. You're gonna be like, I don't know what to talk about.
Yeah.
And I told my friend who's probably going to be watching this. I told him the same thing. I just don't know what to talk about.
Well, and you definitely start to realize patterns in people, not necessarily just friends, but people in general, that they can potentially be the same person that they have been. And when you're constantly growing and just out of that mindset, it is very hard to relate. You know, and that goes with having kids versus not having kids. You grow substantially. It's
just exponential.
Yeah.
You're just at a different just feel now.
Mm-hmm. And those conversations that, you know, seemed important back then are definitely not important now. And there's a huge shift.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like that's why you and I are more okay with things.
Yeah.
You know, we're okay with letting things go. We're okay with just the way it is what it is, relationships, because, you know, yeah, we're just so different people with such different people. Mm-hmm. And it's okay. We know it's not everyone's gonna kind of appreciate that, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just, you and I want to be on a path of upward growth, not being stagnant and not anything downhill.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the kind of things you have to evaluate when you have new friendships, old friendships, family members. You know, those are all things that have to be evaluated.
Right.
And that's where we have landed, is evaluating the things that are important to us and like the things that aren't necessarily anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, all of that aside, there is no animosity towards any of our friends, our old friends, our family members. Nope. None of that. It's just real.
This is real.
It's just real.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go through it.
Yeah, it's real stuff, and sometimes people don't like to hear the real stuff, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
And so that goes into, I mean, new friendships we've made, right?
Yes, that's a big positive.
We've made some really great new friends, and it's super easy with kids because your kids will go up to other kids and then you start talking to the parents and, hey, I vibe with this person. Cool. Yeah. You know, and I've made 2 good friends, you know, through,
amazing, top notch,
through having children. Yes. So, yeah, I have no regrets there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you win some, you lose some. And the ones that we've gained, I mean, it's been great. It's incredible, the people that we've met.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would be a true positive, I would say.
Yes. Great positive.
In all of these harsh realities, there are good things too. It's harsh, but it can lead to something good.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, my biggest thing about all of that is it was uncomfortable at first, but now that I've grown as a person and I've seen all of these differences in myself and other people, it is for the better for me.
Yeah.
So
I wonder what is it? Like how are we so comfortable with now versus back in the day? Like what is it about our life now that was like, oh yeah.
I think the fact that you have children, being in the present is a huge aspect of all of this. And nothing brings you more into the present than your kids, I would say. For me personally, that has led a lot of me being here in the now. And yeah, I don't know, just things aren't as important.
Yeah, so true, right?
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, when you have something that's so important, everything else that's not even, it just seems less.
Yeah, just on the level, you're like, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is this to me?
Yeah.
It's really not.
No.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I just think a different mindset. And if you, again, we've talked about this before, if you don't grow with your kids, it would be a lot harder, I would say.
Yeah, you're holding your kids back and yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, roll with the punches.
Mm-hmm.
Take the risks that, you're afraid to take.
Hey guys, so we're just going to take a little break from the podcast and just want to mention to you guys that thank you so much for watching the videos. It means a lot to us. We're just, a couple who wants to talk about real things, and that's what we're passionate about. And so if you want to hear more about us, you can go on the website. It's www.rawparentingpodcast.com and subscribe to the newsletter, and we're back to the video.
So moving on now to another real harsh reality, especially for first-time parents. Listen to other parents. Take advice from other parents. Especially when you see people that are succeeding with something, ask them how they're doing it.
Yeah. I wonder why they don't ask. Why don't they ask? Boo.
As a new parent, you internally feel an obligation to your child that you know your child the best. No one else knows your child like you do. And you have all the correct answers. Always.
Did you feel that?
No. No, I didn't. Which is why I had my mom. And I was like, thank God I had her. But, for us, we, out of all of our friends, we have a child older than others. Right? And we've been through many struggles with Peanut, with a lot of things. And we didn't really have anybody to ask. I would ask my mom, like, hey, how were we when we were kids? What did you do with this? We have a friend that has a son similar in age, actually a month older or whatever, 2 months older. And, I try and ask things like that for her. I ask if I have something. But yeah, we really just didn't have anyone to ask any of these questions.
Yeah, pandemic baby.
So yeah, we kind of had to figure it out on our own. That being said, I think we have amazing solutions for some of the things that we did struggle with. Sleep being one of them. Peanut was a terrible sleeper right from the get-go. And she was very colicky, I would say, or had a lot of stomach issues, digestion issues, yada, yada, yada. So she was always uncomfortable. And for us to try and figure that out on our own was very tough. And again, most people didn't know what to say or do, right? I mean, our doctor was literally like, put them on this medication. And now we're kicking ourselves being like, that is not what she needed. So we've seen a lot through our first child, and we can put in a time card of our sleep training video. We are super proud of that because we have 2 kids that actually sleep through the night at 6 months on for 10 plus hours a night. So definitely want to check out that video if you haven't. ignore my sass. So, I don't know. It's one of those things where I hear other parents complaining about their kids and sleep.
It's like the number one thing is sleeping, eating.
Yes.
Like.
Yeah, sleeping, eating, potty training, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't even think I've been asked really once.
Wow.
Maybe once on tips and tricks for sleeping. But every time people complain or the one question I would get asked is, you know, how's your sleep? How like, are you getting,
Right.
are you having trouble sleeping? Like, what is your child doing?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, she sleeps through the night.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's literally like nothing further than that.
That's it.
And to me, like, I don't...
Do they think that you just got a lucky child?
I think so.
Like, do they just not know the backstory at all?
Well, and here's the thing. Here's the grind I have with people, okay? This is my beef.
Okay.
No one asks me questions. And I've had this conversation with you before. Weird. I have, you know, I've had a life. I have stories. I have growth things that I've been through. Like, I've been through a lot of things in my life. And I've accomplished a lot of things in my life. And no one asks me a damn thing. And this is why I've said I don't have friends. Because no one cares enough about me as a person, I feel. Or it's felt like no one's cared about me. And no one takes the initiative to know me as a person.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know if people just don't... Is it the pandemic that caused people just don't have that communication skill anymore? Or is it like they want to just talk about themselves, or like they don't even know what to ask anymore? Mm-hmm. But yeah, where is the real conversation these days?
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like a lot of people, of course, like talking about themselves, and it sounds like that's the reason behind me complaining is I want to talk about myself. But at the same time, when I have something valuable to say, and I could insert everything, and just be like, listen to me now.
But what's the point?
But I don't do that.
No.
Right? So I think there is a difference between me saying I want to talk about it versus like, I just have to tell everybody everything. No, that's not the point. The point is, if you are interested enough, you would ask me.
Yeah, I'm not going to diarrhea over you.
Yeah, and I've had people say like, oh, you know, we're really struggling with eating solids. And I'm like, you know what? That sucks for you. I'm sorry. I hope it gets better.
Go figure out, I guess.
Yeah, and again, it's like you're feeding your child a whole friggin' cantaloupe, basically. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, obviously not. But, you know, it's as extreme as, you know, can't you just ask a question? I don't know. For me, it's just mind-blowing that people... Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Honestly, like, I get very passionate about this because it's so strange to me that if I saw somebody succeeding, is it an ego thing where I'm like, ugh, I don't want to seem like I'm not succeeding. I don't want to seem like a bad parent. If I ask questions, it makes me feel like I'm a bad parent. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but for me, in my mind, I'm thinking, hey, I've got valuable information for you, but if you don't care to ask me, then I'm not going to say anything, because then people take it the wrong way, right? Oh, you're being judgmental, or like, I don't know. And this is the thing, that I hate people because, like, anyways, I don't even know what to say. Like I said, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know anymore. Like, I think, oh man, I mean, if whoever is listening this far, thank you. Now you get to the real stuff.
Yeah.
I think what we realize is that, like, most people just really suck, I would say. Yeah. Most people don't have motivation. They don't have the drive to be anything. They don't. They just don't seem to just have a grasp in life. They're stuck in their little line they drew in life. Here's my dot. Here's the dot I want to be, and they just drew a line and just like, that's it. Mm-hmm. most people don't have self-awareness. I just can't relate with people anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just struggling.
And that's the biggest thing.
That's a struggle. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing. Is that we have just advanced ourselves in transcendence in such a great path that we're just... It's hard to talk about some problems that people have anymore. And you know, like, we're able to, like, get to the deeper thing of things, and most people just can't.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know why, don't know what happened, but it's like at some point in their life, they just told themselves, like, I'm done learning.
Yeah.
This is it for me.
I'm an adult now, this is it.
Yeah,
This is
I graduated from university, and this is as far as I'm going to take it, because I got my degree, I need everything from life, I got my job,
Yeah.
and that is it.
And this is it
And
for the rest of my life.
And yeah, it relates back to parenting, because, like, you know, when you just brush everything under the rug of parenting, that's a danger. And when you can't express it to another parent or talk to them about anything of any sort like that, for people like us, it's really hard for us to live with that.
Well, and I think I had a lot more patience back then with people and their conversations, and now I just don't have the patience anymore, I would say. When I'm listening to the same story over and over and over again, in my head, I'm thinking, where's the growth? What are you going to do differently next time? How are you going to shift this change for the better? Because this is the 5th time I've heard you talk about this. You know what I mean? As an example, like, it gets tiring when people talk about the same stuff and no one's changing to try and be better. Or they'll make one shift and it scares them and they revert back. People are very scared of change. And when they start to see something change, like, why is it that people are comfortable being uncomfortable, in a sense? It's like, you are comfortable being in misery.
Yeah, and that's okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think people in general are just very good at brushing things under the rug again. Mm-hmm. You know, it's I'll deal with it later.
I'll ignore it.
Exactly. It's not that important. Or, you know, it's not affecting my life that much.
Right.
I can still live comfortably.
Yes. Or there's crutches, right? There's lots of crutches for people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yes. I am this way because of this.
Yes.
I can't change because I've had this, like, kind of a life.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, crutches are just terrible for you. Yeah. So bad. You will never... It's a ball chain attached to your leg. And you will never break free of it unless you drop that ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so self-reflection is huge, and we just have learned that so many people don't do it.
No.
And we don't have time for people like that, so...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just... My brain is wired differently. Your brain is wired differently now. It's just wired differently, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm being this higher up guy, but we're just wired differently now than we have before, and finding people who are like us would be nice. Yeah,
it would be nice, and it has been proven to be difficult.
Yeah, it's very difficult, which as it should be, because it took us a lot of hard work to get here.
That's true.
As it should be.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like this is just scratching the surface of your growth and my growth. I mean, yeah, it goes a lot more deep than that and a lot further than what we've just talked about. But yeah, I don't know. So for me, if you're a new parent, seriously, just ask for help or ask questions. Like, put your ego aside and dive into those questions that are making you uncomfortable. And don't think that you're a bad parent because you have to ask questions. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're looking for... it's like we're each other's soulmates, but we're also looking for soulmates of like other like same sex of some sort, eh? Do you find that?
Yeah.
Of some sort?
Yeah, I think you and I, a huge dream of ours would be to have another family.
Seriously, that is
That
exactly...
is exactly like us, that we can spend every single day with.
Yeah, seriously.
And our children
Coming over, you're
best
coming
friend.
over,
Yeah.
we're going to this, going to that, we're going to Disneyland, come with us,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Just like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, we do have great friends
Yes.
that we could do things like that with. It's just, we basically need everyone to drop their lives to be in our lives. In a sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I think just people having that same growth mindset of getting out of that rat race, getting out of that corporate world, figuring out alternatives, and just being able to be with your kids. Those are the type of people that we would really love to be around, right? Because those are the paths that we are on. We want to be self-employed. We want to make our own businesses, which we have been working towards. And we just want people of the same mindset and growth.
Yeah.
That can lead us to the same lifestyle.
Pretty much.
Is what. So again, not to say that the friends we have now aren't, good friends, but
yes, great
you know
friends.
what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, and someone who sees the world past the pretty flowers.
Yes.
Past all the fake facade that's going on, and see the world as it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the world as it is not. We're seeing, I don't think it's pretty flowers, but it's masked as pretty flowers.
It's masked as pretty flowers.
So,
yeah.
things look good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. I think those are my top harsh realities is relationship changes, putting your ego aside as a new parent, asking questions. And if you see someone else succeeding in something,
Yeah.
like ask them.
Yeah.
No. People need to work on conversation skills again because we've really lost that.
I agree. We really lost it.
And that leads to the way that the society's turning us.
Hey. Yeah. Yeah, that is another can of worms.